What's up, everybody? I'm Thomas J. Bellezza, and welcome to the Right Mindset channel. Today, we are going to go over how to write a treatment for your script and why is a script treatment even important. Stick around. Let's get right to it. Oh, hello, welcome, and thanks again for checking out this video and subscribing if possible. A real heart-filled thank you. No, seriously, a massive thank you. As I've always said in every video, I'm grateful that I have your support and that you keep coming back. And maybe you're new here, and that'd be wonderful that you get a little look-see into the video, and hopefully you learn something about the writing the right mindset, right? So if you're new here, just a quick little, hey, if you're new, if you're a beginner writer, if you're a novice writer, if you're somebody who's an author or a screenwriter and you want to learn a little bit about the industry, maybe how to master your craft or just learn about your craft, then hit that bell icon while you subscribe so you don't miss out. But let's get right to it. Like I said today's lessons is writing a treatment, but not just writing a treatment for your script. And you're saying, but Thomas, what is a treatment? And I knew you were going to ask that, so I have some stuff. So I wrote down some thoughts. If you're new here, I like to read. I like to write and read, and then I pontificate on it. So anyway, what is a treatment? A treatment is a relatively brief written pitch of a story intended to be dramatized for a motion picture, for a film or television. A treatment is different from a synopsis. A synopsis is a fully detailed summary of a story narrative. A treatment is a pitch. And why? Why would I need a treatment before a script? I have a story idea, Thomas. I just want to get the script out. I want to boop, 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 right? I get it. And the first video to this is a logline. You're like, I logline? I want to just write my script. Well, this is the reason you would write a treatment before a script. It tells you, it answers this very important question. Does your story have legs? See, treatments are a way for a writer to test out an idea before investing their creative energy fully into a screenplay, a brand new screenplay that takes a long time to write. And yeah, some of us could write a screenplay in a day, a weekend, a week, a month, but it takes a year or more for us to really develop that script and clean it up and hone it, etc., etc. So this gives you a sense of, does this idea have legs? Am I really making sense of it before I start trying to hone it and get it on paper? So treatments, but treatments also serve other elements, factors, which is treatments also allow for writers to summarize their story ideas so they can present the story to studio executives or producers who might want to finance the film. That's right. Not all situations act like the independent world of filmmaking. You don't necessarily have to have a film done. However, if you have a film completed and you meet with a studio or producer, they might say the magic golden words, which is, do you have anything else? And yes, you have the film, it's done, you want to sell that product, but they want to invest in a relationship that lasts more than one project. So if you're saying, hey, I have a bunch of treatments, I got, and then you go, well, what are they? And you go, let me throw out my log lines. And now you're using it to sell yourself, so you have a future with that. And now you're saying to yourself, hey, Thomas, all right, I get it. A treatment is used to really, it's a brief summary to help me pitch my stories, and also it's good to kind of work out, does this story have legs? But what goes into a treatment? And a couple things, and then I'm going to actually show you an example. A treatment should have quick language that is easy to follow. It contains highlights of the most important characters, events, and certain scenes. It's usually 3 to 15 pages and 5 to 10 for a solid good length, if you can do it. But let's do it. Let's check out this example together. And by the way, this example can be used for film or television. It can. The main difference is the one I'm showing you is specifically for a film. With a television treatment, you would kind of summarize the episodes too. But with that said, uh, if this treatment ends up helping you, boop, uh, you are more than welcome to reach out to me through the comments and say, hey, can you send me that treatment template? And I'll be happy to do it. I'll just give it. You don't even have to sign up for a mailing list or anything. We're here to help one another. All right. So here you go. I'm gonna be looking on this screen. I have 3 screens. Don't judge me. So what I like to do with this is, by the way, this is my treatment layout that I have created based on studying other treatments and using other treatments, and when I work with other people and they give me their treatment templates, and I basically things I like, things they ask for, things that make it easier for me to lay it out. So the first thing is what production company is handling the project. If there is one, you put it. If there isn't, you don't have to. But however, if you're going to pitch it and you're going to send this to somebody, put the production company up there because it's for them, right? The screenplay title. So this is exactly where this is the movie. I'm going to put the movie here, right? Then the writer. So the main writer, as we know, the writer is the person who created the idea and also is going to ultimately write the first draft and or the first pilot. Not the first pilot, the pilot of a series. Then you put the phone number and email. Why is it at top? It's the most important information. They need to be able to contact you. It doesn't matter about any of the other story. And if you notice, this treatment is designed to be sort of like a taste, an interest. Now they want to buy into it. Let me see what it is. So basically, the theme, as you can see, words go here. This is where you would write it. All right. So your theme, what is the show really about and why do you want to write it? Okay, this is just a quick line, a sentence or two. And basically, if I'm looking at this treatment, I would see that and I read it and I go, oh, it's about those themes? Okay, well, what is the story world then, right? And then you go to this and you go, what is the percentage of your show or film? Is it a busy city, hospital, whatever? So you kind of explain what the world is, where it will be. Okay. And that could be a sentence or a word. You could say, rural. It's up to you. Tone and style. Is it gritty, quirky, dark? As you can see the words up there. Tone and style, again, it's really quick. 1 or 2 words, maybe a sentence, right? Then we get to the format. Format is easy. Okay. Did I spell it wrong? Writers. That's why we have editors. So basically you're saying what it is, what style, again, this is for a film, but I have elements of television stuff in there too, periodically. Then the genre, it's important. Okay. By now the people looking at this are being teased. Okay. They get a general idea. Okay. For example, tone, what our studio is actually looking for a film or a show that has these tones. Oh, the story world takes place in a rural village. A lot of the shows on our network have been about cities, so this might be a nice change. Oh, the theme, we don't have a project with that theme, right? Because remember, it's business. So if a TV studio has 6 or 7 shows, you might want to have a theme that doesn't fit those particular shows, or maybe you do. Maybe like WB might have from this time to this time or only these kind of themes. And from this time to this time, it's only these. You ever watched the Law and Order? It's like 6 of them in a row. You know what I'm saying? This gives them a sense to say, where would this fit in our TV schedule, right? And then it gets into the log line. I wrote a couple examples of log lines just for. By the way, you don't actually write this part. You don't write inciting incident, protagonist, action. I just did that as an example of when you write a log line, you want those things in there. They don't all have to be in here, as you can see with the second example. When a young boy disappears, his mother, a police chief, and his friends must confront terrifying forces in order to get him back. Do I want to see that project? Nah, maybe not. But this is the log line. This is ultimately where they go, all right, we've already decided that we like the genre, we like the tone, we like the themes. You know, the format of it makes sense for us, what we're trying to do. We're a streaming platform, or we're this platform, or whatever. And then they read that log line. If that log line hits, that's your elevator pitch. If they like it, they move on to the tagline, which is, by the way, this is just a catchy thing. For example, I have a television show I've been working on. It's called The Circle. It's about it's basically like an AA meeting. So the circle of AA meeting people. But they're all addicted to something, right? It's not just alcohol. They're just it's addicted, anonymous, right? So the tagline is "Pick your poison," and there's a reason for that. Because ultimately, the show is designed to have the audience interact with the characters. Okay, so you pick the poison. Why does this story need to be told? Okay, this is half to a full page. This is really your sales pitch, and you can't say because it's awesome, unique, awesome, amazing, unique. You know, you have to think deep down. Why does this story need to be told? Does it stand out from other stories? Has it been told before? And the answer is yes. There's only 7 story types, but your unique perspective, your creative view is what is different than those 7 stories. Proposed budget. So this is important for a film. You want to have this budget include a marketing. So if it's $1 million to make the film, you want another $1 million. Just double the budget, or you could do half the budget, whatever you want. There's no golden rule, but you want to put some money into marketing, because without marketing, no one sees it. And you put that there for a show. You would actually break it down. You would write what the total budget is for the season, and then episode budget. Okay. Production notes would go here if you have them. If you don't, you can get rid of it. For example, the Circle show has production notes, and they would go there and explain like the novelty of the show, right? So, all right, now we get to the synopsis. Okay, now I actually break this down into my outline, and I set myself up to write 2 or 3 paragraphs per section. And ultimately, what I do is I explain about, this one would be the ordinary world, right? So I would just go on about the ordinary world, where the story starts. Then 4 through 8 paragraphs. By the way, this is 2 to 3 paragraphs, and then the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th paragraph might go here. Whatever. It's up to you. Don't do less than 2 in any section. Anyway. So these are the main acts, though, right? So the reason Act 1, by the way, is a little shorter than Act 2 and Act 3 is because Act 1 and Act 2, they have specific elements that need to be in there. So you want to try to hit those elements, okay? And then Act 3 obviously has specific elements too. And this is just a summary or a synopsis of those moments of the story, okay? So just real quick, Act 1 is the ordinary world plus inciting incident, and also the conflict to take to the adventure. Act 2 is the rising conflict, the descending conflict. Fun and games is in there, by the way. Act 3 is really the resolve. We conclude all the subplots and ultimately the resolution to the story. After that, you want to do your main characters only. You might have like 30 characters in your story, right? I get it. But you only want to use your main characters, okay? The driving forces of your show. And you basically do 3 to 4 sentences of details about who they are when we meet them and where you want to take them over the course of the story. Very simple. Okay. And then you want the expanded outline of the synopsis. Now, this is where I get into the outline that I have. So I'll do a paragraph for each. Okay. So I'll do a paragraph to set up the ordinary world. This is before the inciting incident happens. Then I do a paragraph explaining the inciting incident. Then I do a paragraph of the reaction to the inciting incident, and so forth and so forth. You only have to do a paragraph. Now, if you look at this is only 6 pages, but obviously once I'm done, it'll probably be like 10 to 15 pages altogether. And then when you're done with that, boom. Now, the reason you have the length at the end, all these, really going into the story, is because by now they either really interested in the story, they love the characters, you've already explained this the story in 3 acts. So it's like, but maybe they want to know a little bit more. They want to see if you understand your story a little bit more. And that's why it's at the end. We don't always give people the main course. You have to start off with little tidbits. Theme is ultimately, hey, you want some salad, right? And that's all that is. Boom, 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 boom. Now, what is the dessert, though, you ask? The dessert is a pitch deck. Anyway, all right. So there you go. If you want this template, um, or if you just want to copy it word for word, you can pause it. You can pause the screen, and you could be like, "Hey, Thomas." So there you go. There's a little bit. Pause that. There's a little bit. You could pause that. Okay. There's a little bit. You could pause that. Okay. There's a little bit. Pause that. I'll do this all day. All day. All day. Like pause that. Okay. We did characters. There's enough characters. Then you do expanded. Pause that. All right. Then we do, pause it. Pause it. Pause it. It's gonna make a song. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. And that's it. That's it. All right. That's it. I'm gonna move on to the last thing, which is the purpose. The purpose of a treatment. The purpose of a treatment is very simple and to the point. It diagnoses the faults in the story by laying out what we see in the most simplistic version of a story. Once you fix them and clean it up, it becomes a sales tool. So it has two purposes. It helps you really work out the story ideas before you put that time into writing it, and then it becomes a sales tool. That's right, because that's what it does. You don't always have to have a script, because when you get in those rooms to pitch one project, like I said before, they're always like, hey, do you have anything else? And that's what treatments are for. They're just like, yes, I do. I have always been told, taught, and learned by literally being in the room. The magic number is 5 projects minimum, since the people you're pitching are interested in long-term relationships. Ultimately, you want an in-person meeting, but when you can't get those meetings, a treatment is literally your best alternative. Awesome. Let's go to the final thoughts. I love treatments. Okay. I could literally spend a year writing a book or a script. And so could you. Let's be honest. Writing takes a while. But we also have lots of ideas, right? Because we're writers. We're always thinking, we're always coming up. Even when we're working on a project, we come up with it. We're like, oh, they're not. I've literally worked on books, and I got to like a character and was like, I need a story on this character. So instead of destroying the story I'm working on, I just write down some notes and I create a treatment, and that story becomes its own thing, right? So the whole point is writers need to be writing, right? Right. This is because we're not supposed to be focused on the only egg in the basket, right? Treatments give you a lot of movement as a writer. How? Good question. Does your story have legs to stand on? Right? Maybe? Yes? No? A treatment lets you explore the story before putting in a lot of effort to discovering through writing. The other aspect of it is you use the treatment to organize your ideas. Basically, if you have an idea, open up a treatment template you have made, sort of like the one that I posted, or you just jot down some ideas into a file. You can work on it again at any time later. That's the brilliance of an idea list or a treatment list, right? You have the treatment in your back pocket to give to producers and studios when the time comes. You don't even have to put a lot of time and effort into the ideas. As long as you get that solid log line down and maybe some general ideas into your treatment, just a rough treatment is more than a no treatment. And you think, well, I have to write scripts and I have to write the books and I got to do all this. And it's like sometimes it's just easier to have that stuff. And when you have the time to get to the book or the script, then you could take the treatment out and start working on that, but it's always good to have a pile of stuff in your back pocket, right? So the point is, even if you don't have a script written from it, you have the treatment in your back pocket to give to producers and studios, because ultimately your career as a screenwriter is not about the big, amazing, awesome, unique script you wrote. It's about what you have to offer as a writer in the long run. Are you a relationship worth investing in, or are you a one-trick pony? Oof. It's good stuff. Good stuff. No? All right. The next video in this series will be us we're going to dive into how one can develop characters for a script. Now, you might say, hey, Thomas, wasn't last week's video, don't you have a video on developing characters for a novel? Yes. Yes, I do. It's basically the same thing. However, the process is a little different for script. As a script is like, it's like, right, smaller, right? What do you get? Like 90 pages, 120 pages, whereas a novel's 150,000 words. If it's fantasy, 80,000 words is it, depending on if it's traditional or not, right? So developing characters for script is a little bit more focused and honed. And really getting them to pop out on the screen, right? So you got to get them on the page to pop out in less time. Okay, which brings me to my question. Do you have a favorite movie or television episode? Let me know in the comment. Let me know in the comments below. Oh, but you know why I do these questions, right? Because I want people in the community to see that they're not alone. Sometimes they might be thinking, oh my God, that's my favorite movie, or that's my favorite blah, blah, blah. So, answering these questions are really for the community. I love seeing them. I answer all comments. But I just like letting people see that they're not alone. Okay. Anyway, want to know more about improving your craft, insight on the industry, and hearing from fellow authors through the interview series, the Right Mindset podcast? Well, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. And as always, I don't know if you know it, but I do. You got to keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next week. Remember, every week we do a video. I love it. Hopefully you love it. I'll talk to you soon. Hasta luego. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao, Bella.